In this video, we're gonna talk about two exclusive articles that discuss a specific X account operator called Guilty Archive or Queen Archive that has spread malicious rumors against multiple Hive artists, including Illit, Lissafim, and G-Friend, that's part of Source Music, and also BTS. Specifically, the the connections, rumors about the connections between Dahn World and BTS. And interestingly, the Guilty Archive has recently posted on a public apology about Illit. Okay? And we're going to talk about how the operator has responded to this exclusive article, and how there was another follow-up article the very next day. And then we're going to go over some real legal documents and the public response to Queen Archive's actions, and then, multiple things. Okay? And then, of course, Minheejin. All right, so let's start here. This was an article released by Soulwire, released on March 25th, 2025. And it is titled, written by journalist Hwang Dae-young, and it's titled Exclusive, Hive Identifies, Operator Behind Guilty Archive, Apology Issued and Channel Shut Down. Hive appears to have identified the operator behind the X account Guilty Archive, which had posted defamatory content about the company and its label artist. The identification seems to have been made possible through the U.S. legal system's discovery process, and that's how people have found out the identity behind the channel called 소장, 탈덕수용소, which led to multiple media agencies suing the channel owner, including Hive's agency Starship Entertainment and also Big Hit Music. Right. Following this, the account's operator, known publicly as Queen Archive, issued an apology and announced the suspension of the channel even after participating in interviews with major media outlets. On March 23rd, the operator posted on the channel, "In May 2024, I made a post about an Illit member's Twitter account mistakenly following another account that had posted malicious content about Newjeans. After I posted it, the issue gained attention and was even covered in the news. As a result, the Illit members were subjected to unnecessary misunderstandings and harsh criticism because of my actions. I sincerely apologize for that. Regardless of my intentions when making the post, the ones who ended up hurt were young girls. I have come to realize that, even though it's late, I offer my heartfelt apology. To take responsibility for my actions and reflect on them, I have decided to pause the operation of the Guilty Archive account for the time being. DMs will be closed immediately, and I will only post again if there is a request for public attention on a specific issue. Once again, I sincerely apologize to the Illit members." And they have pinned the post, and it's still there. But the thing is, they didn't suspend the account. It's very much a count today. So that's interesting. Now let's briefly talk about the case. Illit, such controversy. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, right here. All right. So this was from last year, on May 20th, and this is from NamuWiki for Illit page. On May 20, 2024, Ilit's official X account was found to be following a user who had previously posted negative tweets about Newjeans. The owner of that account posted a screenshot showing that Illit had followed them, which quickly sparked controversy online. In response, Illit did not release a statement but simply unfollowed the account. To be specific, the official account had followed a total of 3 regular user accounts at the time. Among them, one had indeed tweeted negatively about Newjeans, but the others had actually shown support for the group, Newjeans. One had even attended a Newjeans concert and posted positive content as a fan. Because of this, some speculate that the The follows may have been accidental clicks made without regard to whether the users were fans or critics of Newjeans. There's also speculation that it was an oversight by a staff member, as idol accounts are usually managed by social media teams who post on behalf of the artist after getting approval. The first account shown in the screenshot below is the one at the center of the controversy. While accidental follows from idol group accounts aren't that uncommon, this incident gained more attention because it occurred in the middle of the ongoing management disputes between Minheejin and Hive over control over Adore. Yeah, 2024 May. It was chaotic as hell. And attached here is an article written by Lee Seon-myung of Sports Kyungyang. He's very famous, right, or infamous. Who has been writing many articles, favorable for Minheejin and unfavorable for Hive. Now, this gained public attention, indeed, as mentioned by Guilty Archive, so much so that it got covered by KBS and SBS. It's a war. Illit official social media accounts followed Newjeans Akpla, and KBS Illit social media account followed Newjeans anti-fan. Was it a mistake? Yeah, it was indeed very chaotic and messy in the month of May last year. Okay, now let's go back to the article. So they posted an apology directed towards Illit. And here, where are we? Yep. Previously, Hive had filed both civil and criminal suits against Guilty Archive and sought a subpoena through the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California. Although the initial request was denied on July 1st, 2024, Hive later filed a 15 million Korean won damages claim in South Korea and renewed its discovery request in the U.S. On September 16th, the court approved Hive's discovery request and issued a subpoena. Typically, a court order and subpoena require the submission of relevant documents. X initially challenged the subpoena, raising concerns about identifying the operator. But on November 14th, Hive reached an agreement with X and requested a court order to enforce document submission. On December 3rd, the court issued a compliance order to X. Since X did not file a motion to quash, it is believed that user information was subsequently provided to Hive. Attorney Moon-hee Kim of Yulchon LLC, representing Hive, stated in court filings, the user repeatedly posted false, defamatory, or harassing content about Hive. We believe the individual is a native Korean speaker and likely resides in South Korea. The Guilty Archive account had posted speculative content linking Hive to Dahn World, and specifically BTS to Dahn World, and repeatedly expressed support for former Adore CEO Minheejin. These posts were submitted as evidence to the U.S. court in both Korean and English. Notably, Guilty Archive had over 120,000 followers and previously drew attention in August 2023 after speaking to a major outlet about deepfake sexual exploitation crimes, and is thus known as a feminist account. I think it was 지난해, so 2024 probably. But ironically, it's very ironic that they have not posted critical posts about Minheejin, who famously said that I would like to murder feminists and that I hate feminists. And we know how, like last year, in the beginning of this whole chaos, people were praising Minheejin as this warrior representing feminists in Korea. So it's super ironic. Now, Guilty Archive made a response to this article, saying this. Why are people so obsessed with assigning a reason to my apology? Like, oh, she must have written it because she got sued. LOL. To reporter Hwang Dae-young at Seoul Wire, you should have been you should be embarrassed slapping an exclusive headline on something that's just your own wild guesses. It's giving like online community people energy the way you wrote. Turns out that evil feminist speaker Guilty Archive got sued by Hive, wrote an apology, and deleted her account. You seriously publish that in an article? And anyway, if my identity really gets revealed, I will gladly drop my bank account. If Hive actually gave the press anything solid, those articles would have gone out before I ever said a word. But since they didn't, and I'll be the one who would realize first if I was sued, fine, I'll gladly drop my bank account. So basically it's denying that they got sued by Hive or they got their identity revealed. And the next day, on March 26th, the same journalist released a follow-up article titled Timeline. Full breakdown of Hive's lawsuit against Guilty Archive. By Hwang Dae-young. Hive has filed a lawsuit against the cyber reckless content creator, Guilty Archive, while their account has resumed activity on X. This comes just 2 days after Guilty Archive posted an apology and announced they would shut down the account following a backlash involving Hive's artist Illit. On March 25th, in response to news reports, Guilty Archive stated, I haven't received a single call from the police. I don't even monetize my Twitter, so how would they identify me? I didn't write that apology because I was sued. Although the account claims not to have been sued, court documents submitted by Hive in the US clearly state that a 15 million Korean won civil suit is ongoing in Korea. Given the conflicting statements, SoWire put together a detailed timeline of the legal proceedings based on court records. And then here's a footnote. SoWire did not receive any press materials from Hive for this article. All information was obtained directly from U.S. court documents. Hive has declined to comment on individual civil cases. And why are they adding this footnote? Because it has been, the way that Hive haters and Minheejin supporters has been saying, whenever they criticize you, or whenever you criticize them, you always get framed as like someone being paid by Hive or Hive supporters or Hive stands, company stand. So I guess journalists now all know such strategy, right? So they added a footnote, and then here it is. On June 28th, 2024, Hive's initial discovery request dismissed. On June 28th, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California denied Hive's request for discovery from X. Hive had filed a criminal complaint for defamation against Guilty Archive with the Yongsan police in Korea. Since X headquarters is in the US, they filed a discovery request in US court to obtain user information. Judge Vince Chabria ruled, although the request meets the basic requirements of 28 USC 1782, that's the discovery process, I think, the court will not grant it. Criminal investigations are generally the responsibility of law enforcement, not private entities. So it got denied. Now, July 9th, 2024, Hive filed civil lawsuit in Korea. After the dismissal, Hive, through law firm Yulchon, filed a civil lawsuit in Korea and submitted a new discovery request in the US. Attorney Mooney Kim of Yulchon stated, Hive has retained our firm regarding X account Guilty Archive. The user has repeatedly posted false, defamatory, and harassing content about Hive. They added that on July 9th, Hive officially filed a defamation lawsuit in Korea seeking 50 million Korean won in damages plus 12% annual interest from the date of service until the amount is paid. Hive's in-house counsel, Choi Kwang-soo, confirmed that on April 28th, Guilty Archive posted defamatory and potentially harassing content, and that the account had about 116,000 followers as of July 10th. Now, content that Guilty Archive posted about Hive. Court documents included translated posts from Guilty Archive allegedly containing speculative claims and defamation against Hive. So let's actually look at the original document here. And thankfully, they translated the document into English, and that makes sense because they submitted this document to a California court, right? Guilty Archive, hella scary story about Hive. The name of G-Friend album, Walpurgis Night, Day of Burning Witches, G-Friend disbanded, date, May 1st, Le Seraphim debut, May 2nd, Witches were burnt, disbanded, and the next day, Seraphim debuted. There's a year gap, but just for ease of understanding. Also, Minheejin shareholders meeting, April 30th. Wow, this is giving me a PTSD about that crazy era from last year. The whole conspiracy theories that haters were waging against Hive and Hive artists, right? Why was Minheejin threatened about the OMG music video? Why do the members that attend Downworld Foundation's Global Cyber University have the crowd's feet mark, I'm overseas, please save me? I don't even know if that makes sense or not. Correction, sorry girls, but it's scary. There's something with 22. This amendment was on the 22nd. Downworld changed its name to Downworld on the 22nd. You can tell Hive is obsessed with 22nd if you just look at the Hive singers. Okay, I'm scared of posting more. A lot of people posted evidence in the reference section, so please check them out. I clicked like as much as I could. I clicked everything that I saw, but there are things that are not true and some are just over-interpretation, so please filter appropriately. Also, if there are replies in the like post, please see the thread. There's been a ton of reports that what I posted is just the tip of the iceberg. There's way more, and then more Downworld, and now more BTS stuff. I'm a reasonable person, they said. I'm a reasonable person. So if it was a total nonsense, I wouldn't have even posted it. BTS did their debut showcase in Illit Art Hall. Illit in Illit Art Hall is related to Downworld founder. On and on and on. Mago 6960 has been decided, and G-Friend made a song from it. Wow. So much BS, so I just deleted and uploaded again. They say Shinanchon soy sauce. Is soy sauce a Cheonbukgyo, a cult, so has nothing to do with Downworld? Even the army fans can't deny the rest. I will upload again. Few. Keep talking about other celebrities. Psy is Hive that supposedly has direct connections with Downworld, and there are members there that attend the school under the Downworld Foundation. Is it the same as just attending? That's just like a cult foundation university. Ordinary people can also attend, but it's different if they attend. Why do you guys not understand? F. Also, the post is about the relationship between Hive and Downworld, and just because there was one post about BTS, the mad people are coming and adding replies, and the focus is switching to the idols. If you keep adding replies, I'm really going to change the subject, so please talk about Hive. I have a lot to post when I do, so no need to worry. Okay, it's kind of a poor translation, but actually in the original language, it's hard to understand in the same way. Now, of course, armies are angry, and they're still angry, even after they posted an apology. For example, this account said, Guilty Archive is the main perpetrator for spreading malicious cult rumors against BTS on Korean side. They have also spread plagiarism rumors. You're not sorry. You very well had enough brains to know BTS nothing to do with any of it. You spread it because you liked it. F your fake feminism. There you go. Yeah, targeting BTS. And I don't get this like soy sauce thingy. And this account was saying that, oh my god, so much coincidence. This is no longer a conspiracy theory. And then, of course, Hive haters, Minheejin supporters all chimed in, agreeing with them, and it spread like wildfire. And if you're curious about their claims, you can go to Newjeans' OMZ music video and even Dido music video, and you can see what they have written. It's still all there, unless they deleted their own comments because of embarrassment. This person is no feminist, but some of y'all are too dumb to see her true nature. I won't even be surprised if she's getting paid for her post. And once again, strangely enough, the account posted all critical stuff about Hive and supportive stuff about Minheejin, but even after they probably seen clearly how Minheejin herself hates feminists, they never said a critical thing about Minheejin. If they did, And if it's something that I don't know of, please let me know. Write in the comments if they ever criticized or dissed Minheejin herself. All right, back to the article. So, yeah, and interestingly, within the legal documents, it was majorly about downworld rumors and BTS stuff. Of course, there was some like G-Friend and Listroph stuff. But the apology, the public apology they posted was specifically about Illit alone. So that's also strange and interesting. Okay, why did they ever post an apology about BTS? Not that I know of. I'm not aware of that. So once again, please let me know if they have. All right, where are we? All right, here we go. So these were the contents. September 16th, 2024. U.S. court approves discovery request. The U.S. District Court approved Hive's discovery request. The judge stated that Hive has shown good cause and allowed the company to serve a subpoena to X requesting documents. The approval was limited to use in the Korean civil lawsuit. Okay, so the correction that they made, correction in the strategy that they made, transitioning from the police, investigation to civil lawsuit actually worked. Criminal lawsuit to civil lawsuit actually worked, right? The approval was limited to use in the Korean civil lawsuit. X was required to respond within 14 days of receiving the subpoena. Now, on October 7th, X files objection to the subpoena. After receiving the subpoena on September 24th, X filed an objection, citing First Amendment concerns. X argued that anonymous online speech is protected under U.S. law and that Hive's evidence relied heavily on brief declaration and media reports, which were not enough to demonstrate actual harm. X also noted that internal disputes and fan complaints were already present in Hive-related discussions. Now, November 14th, 2024, Hive and X submit joint letter to court. Unable to obtain the information due to X's objection, Hive and X decided to cooperate and submitted a joint letter asking the court to make a ruling. In the letter, Hive cited Korean Civil Code Articles 750 and 751, arguing that even if the statements are false or speculative, spreading them via online networks can still be considered defamation under Korean law. They emphasized that one of Guilty Archive's posts even led to a protest in front of Hive's headquarters, and that U.S. case law also excludes malicious falsehoods from First Amendment protection. And yes, that was one of the footnotes within this legal document, how BTS fans' armies allegedly sent funeral wreaths to a Hive. Army enraged over Hive Adore feud impacting BTS, criticizing Big Hit and Hive for failing to protect BTS. Now, when it comes to these protests, like whether it's truck protests or funeral wreaths, I have learned that sometimes people, act as if they're fans and then send protest trucks or funeral wreaths to the rival companies to harm their reputation. Sometimes it is indeed the true fans, but sometimes it's not the case, and that doesn't really represent the whole fandom. But anyways, the fact that Hive received these bunch of funeral wreaths in front of their headquarters building was true, and they included this as part of the legal document to show that Guilty Archives posts led to material impact on the company. Okay, so that's the gist of what they were discussing here. All right. Hive also noted that if the user refused to comply, they would file a motion to compel. The joint letter requested the court to clarify whether Hive had met the legal standard for identifying the anonymous user. On December 3rd, so that was a joint letter. December 3rd, 2024. A U.S. court orders compliance. On December 3rd, the court ordered X to comply with the subpoena and provide the requested user information. The judge ruled that X could still file a motion to quash if it believed the user was protected under the First Amendment. But if no objection was filed within 14 days, X will be required to comply. It is ordered. As of now, X has not filed any objections, implying that user information may have been already handed over to Hive. Okay, so that was what this second article was about. So I covered that. So in the end, even though in July of last year they failed to get the identity of the user, and Soulwire themselves made an article about that. And at the time, Hive haters made fun of Hive and Big Hits for that. And even the account's operator themselves talked about that, because a journalist from Reuters, right, contacted the account operator saying that Guilty Archive was sued and Hive is trying to discover their identity through U.S. court. And then they actually made a post about it. Oh, Hive sued me because of the thing about Dahn World. And then that account supporters made fun of Hive. But I think, based on the fact that they out of nowhere, they posted this apology, there's a chance that Hive already got the identity, and the civil lawsuit is currently underway, happening. But we'll have to see whether that's true or not. So I covered that. All right, so here's a recap. Also, the apology kind of looks similar to this apology. Actually, here's a channel that also got a warning message from Hive a few months ago. I think this channel posts a lot of like idol girl group members stuff, mainly Karina from aespa. Oh, here we go. 9 months ago, they made an apology after getting sued by Source Music, and they made it clear that 쇼차장, that's the channel name, is being operated by an ordinary person, and it's just a regular, ordinary cyber wrecker channel. And basically saying that I'm not a company related. I don't have any affiliations with company. And I'm sorry for having hurt artists and fans, right? And what was especially funny was that they denied that they're not any company related in comparison to other YouTube channels like Issue Feed, Kimpact, Entapig, Newjeans Fam, and Peoplebox and Taishu, which are the channels that we have talked about on my channel, right? So that was kind of funny. And Guilty Archive's apology kind of reminded me of, this apology that I just showed you about. And there was an article about that too. One day out of nowhere, randomly posting an apology. But I think Guilty Archive is still denying the fact that they're getting sued by Hive. So we'll have to see. All right, so to recap, this is what happened, right? Hive appears to have identified the operator behind the Guilty Archive account. It's believed they obtained user information from X through the US court's discovery process. The operator posted a public apology and announced they would shut down the account. The controversy began after they posted about an Illit member accidentally following a malicious anti-Newjeans account. The apology mentioned that young girls were hurt and expressed remorse before stepping away from the account. Not sure if they really meant by that. Hive filed both civil and criminal lawsuits in Korea and the US. And in December, I think 2024, that's a mistake, a US court ordered X to hand over user information, but X did not object. Speculative claims suggesting Hive was connected to Dahn World, and there were a whole lot of rumors about that. and frequent posts supporting former Adore CEO Minheejin. That's what the article pointed out, right? Guilty Archive is kind of well known within the Korean X community, with around 120,000 followers, and gained attention after raising awareness about like deepfake related sexual crimes. Here's a timeline. June 28, 2024, U.S. court dismisses Hive's discovery requests. Hive filed a criminal complaint against Guilty Archive in Korea for defamation and sought user information from X via recovery request in U.S. court, but the court dismissed the request, stating criminal investigations should be conducted by law enforcement, not private parties. Thus, July 9th, Hive changed their strategy, filed civil lawsuit in Korea, seeking 50 million Korean won in damages. They also resubmitted a discovery request in the US to identify the account owner. September 16th, the court granted Hive's discovery request, allowing them to serve a subpoena to X for user information. October 7th, X responded with objections, citing the First Amendment and the protection of anonymous speech online. They argued that Hive hadn't provided sufficient evidence of real harm. November 14th, Hive and X submit joint letter to court, agreed to let the court decide. Hive argued that Guilty Archive's post led to offline protests in front of its headquarters. Even false statements are considered defamation under Korean civil law. U.S. legal precedent shows the First Amendment doesn't protect malicious falsehoods. December 3rd, the court issued a compliance order requiring X to provide user info within 14 days unless X formally objected. X did not object, suggesting Hive likely obtained the user's identity. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But the latest information is that on March 23rd, Guilty Archive posted a public apology and announced they would shut down the account. But just 2 days later, they reversed the course and resumed posting, claiming I was never contacted by the police. I don't even monetize my Twitter, so how would they identify me? I didn't apologize because of a lawsuit. But court document confirms that Hive is indeed pursuing a civil lawsuit in Korea and has been actively engaged in legal discovery to identify the user. And I personally believe that even though the whole Dahn world stuff is so ridiculous, because the rumors spread so much like a wildfire, and there were people who either truly believed in them or made it seem like they believed in it because they were haters of Hive and BTS. It led to damages, right? Reputational damages, which is making so many armies angry. And what was even more frustrating is that, to my knowledge, they still haven't made an apology about that. Downworld rumors, spreading downworld rumors. And they decided to just make an apology about Illit. So that was kind of interesting. But what we do know is that Hive is indeed taking initiatives and being active in terms of protecting their artists and taking necessary legal means against those who have spread malicious rumors. So this is an announcement made by Big Hit Music recently on Weverse community. Let me turn this into English and let's read it. Updates on legal proceedings against violation of artist rights. Hello, this is Big Hit Music. To protect the rights of artists, we regularly initiate legal proceedings against perpetrators of malicious activities targeting BTS, including defamation, personal attacks, sexual harassment, dissemination of false information, and ill-intentioned criticism. Below is a summary of our key activities. As a result of the previous lawsuit, the identities of multiple individuals responsible for malicious posts have been identified, and investigations have been conducted. Some of the defendants have been fined, while others have had their cases forwarded to the prosecution with investigations ongoing. A few are currently undergoing trials. We remain committed to ensuring that those responsible for malicious posts are held accountable and face appropriate penalties. As you may have seen in the media, the first instance court has ruled that 탈덕 수용소, 탈덕 Camp, a so-called cyberwrecker, or also known as 소장, YouTuber, is liable for damages amounting to 76 million Korean won. Talda Camp has filed an appeal since, and we're actively responding in the appellate process. We remain committed to ensuring that they are held fully accountable for the illegal actions committed against our artists. And we talked about that channel, how they defamed BTS members, specifically V, and then Jungkook, I think. At the end of last year, a serious criminal act, including stalking, was committed against our artist, prompting an immediate action on our part. We filed a report to the police, and the perpetrator was arrested in flagrante delicto, subsequently detained and prosecuted. Earlier this year, the court sentenced the perpetrator to a fine of 10 million Korean won. We will continue to take a firm stance against any actions that threaten the safety of our artists, with no leniency extended to the offenders. And I think, based on what we have seen so far, even though some fans I know are pretty, still not satisfied, Hive and Big Hit has shown again and again that they are serious about this. No leniency extended to the offenders. And as a shareholder, even though this costs a lot, hiring lawyers to take care of these things, and the amount that they're seeking from the offenders is tiny compared to the legal cost, is some money well spent, I believe, right, to protect our artists, right, and their IPs. This quarter, we have continued to collect evidence of malicious posts across various domestic and global platforms based on valuable fan reports and real-time monitoring. Such platforms include DC Inside, including BTS Gallery and Mail Celebrities Gallery, Illit Best, Dahn Cafes, Toku, Instis, and X. As a result, we have gathered substantial evidence regarding malicious posts and have formally filed complaints with law enforcement agencies. Additionally, we are closely monitoring malicious posts targeting BTS members currently fulfilling their military service. We will continue to report and pursue legal action against such content. We would like to stress once again that spreading baseless and malicious rumors that defame the artist's reputation and violate their personality rights, publicly insulting them with the intention to slander, engaging in acts of sexual harassment, or infringing on their privacy are not only actions that cause severe harm to the artist, but also illegal acts punishable under the law. Big Hit Music is always open to reports from fans regarding violations of our artists' rights. If you encounter malicious posts or illegal activities involving our artists, such as IP infringement, please report them through the Hive Artist Rights Violation Report website. This portal, I've also talked about them, talked about it last year, and shared this link, right? To ensure that fan reports are effectively used in legal actions, we recommend submitting full screenshots from a PC or full-page print files, PDF, rather than mobile screenshots. Also, please ensure that the URL, username, content of the post, and date of the screenshot are clearly visible in your submission, as such information is critical for legal proceedings. We deeply appreciate your unwavering love and support for BTS. Big Hit Music will continue to ensure that the rights of our artists are fully protected. Thank you. So, yes, once again, I believe that they're doing their job to protect the artists by taking necessary measures, including legal means, such as civil lawsuits, right, and criminal lawsuits. So there you go. If this account has really been sued by Hive and the identity has been revealed, maybe there will be, some updates on this case later on. So let me know what you think by making comments. But as always, when we comment, let's stay positive, respectful, and classy. Okay? Thank you guys. Peace and love. Bye-bye.